welcome to A Cat and Her Yarn Respun. My name is Gabrielle, and you can find me as Kiarapanther on most social media. We are coming to you from my still in progress studio. As you can see, I'm starting to paint there. So there's the old color, the yellow, and the green is the new color. So I've only really gotten that part, and it's just around the window here and below, like half the window painted. But I did get a new bookshelf in. This pretty much is cutting the room in half. I've got some stuff under it so that it doesn't lean forward, and it's wedged up against all this other stuff too. And we've done quite a bit of testing on it, so hopefully it's not going to fall over. But when I'm not spinning, I'm keeping my spinning wheel out of any possible fall zone. My husband insists that it's going to be okay, and even with all the trains that go by, it hasn't even moved, so I think it's going to be okay. I was actually surprised that it fit all the books that I've unpacked. I really think I'm missing some books, but I can't find them. Speaking of the train, it just went by as I was saying that, and I didn't feel anything. So, that's unfortunately the only drawback to my new house. While I get my own studio, I have to deal with the trains going by, sometimes every 15 minutes. Sometimes it's a little bit longer. But one of the nice things about this studio is this huge window in front of me right now. It is a very, very overcast day right now. And I thought I was going to have to supplement the light. And no, I think this lighting's decent. Hopefully it'll still look that way when I upload everything. But on the test videos I did, the lighting was just fine. So I have this nice like porch area out here, so there's quite a bit of a roof, maybe 5-6 feet from the window, but I'm still getting quite a bit of light because of how big this window is. So on to actual fibery stuff. Recently I went to the Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival in Canby, Oregon. And my husband wanted me to finish the cowl I had been working on for him. So I made him drive so that I could do the cast off. I had managed to get to the last row and start the bind off the night before. I stayed up about an hour later than I really wanted to, and I got about 6 hours of sleep before we had to leave. And then I finished the rest of the bind off in the car. I still had 7 stitches to go when we got to the parking lot, so I literally finished this cowl in the parking lot of Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival. And of course, I didn't leave it within easy reach. Okay, here we go. So here is the cowl I made for my husband. I had good color there for a second, and then it decided to see if I do this again. There you go. I love it. I love it when it does that. That's a good color. Really nice. See if it'll, nope, it's starting to darken. Let's see if I do it this way. Camera wants to, there we go. Hopefully that's good. I can't quite see the camera anymore. So this is the Cute Cables Cowl by Elaine Phillips. It is a free pattern that you have to go off-Rav to get. It is the abc-knitting.com website, and you can get it as a web pattern without signing up, or if you want a PDF of the pattern, you can join their website. It's a free sign-up. You can decide how much emails you get from them. Most of the emails, all of the emails I've gotten actually are just notifications of new patterns that they've gotten in. Now, this was done in Cascades Yarns Luminosa in the colorways Emerald and Garnet. And I'll insert a picture here of what it looks like on my husband. This is literally taken in the parking lot. I made him walk a little bit out of the way from where we're supposed to go in so that I could pose him up against the tree without having too many of the cars in the background. So he's quite happy with it. The only reason I have it is because he knew I was going to be podcasting. Otherwise, he'd be wearing it today because, like I said, it's a very overcast day. And he wore it on a field trip, geology field trip. He took a couple days ago to Mount St. Helens. They went into Ape Cave, and it came in very handy. He's normally really warm-blooded, but his face does get cold. His nose anyways. He has a beard. His nose gets cold, and so he wanted me to make it so that it stayed up around his nose. When I originally cast this on, I thought he just wanted it kind of to hang around his neck as part of a costume piece to go with a medieval costume that I was going to make for him. He said he thought this is why he picked the colors. It would be a nice match to the fabric we had gotten to make him a doublet, and he wanted to wear a knitted cowl with it. Because some of the medieval events we wear these outfits to are usually camping events, and they're outside and they're cold, and it's one of the few times it gets a little bit cold, so he wanted something that kind of still looked kind of nice with the doublet. So I had just planned on having it underneath the neck. Well, when I had him try it on, he said that he wanted it to fit snug over his nose. Now, originally the cast on flared. Let me see. Yeah, I think this is the bottom. So originally the cast on flared out, and so I spent half a week pulling out the cast on and the ribbing rows, because when I tried it on, it just kind of flared around his shoulders, and it came out to here, on him, and then it just looked more like a flower on his around his neck. So I pulled all that out, pulled out the ribbing, pulled out the cast on, and then I knit it from that direction, going down a needle size from what I was knitting the rest of the body for the ribbing, and then I went down one more needle size for the bind off. And then when I went to bind off the other end, I kind of repeated this. Actually, this must be the bottom because it flares in more, because when I bound off this edge, which just flares in a little bit here, I didn't go down one more needle. I just went down a needle size for the ribbing and then bound off in the same needle because I was in the car. Or no, it was late. By that point, I just wasn't going to change needles. But still, so either way, even the other edge seems to hug his nose pretty well. So he's really liking it. It's really soft. Cascades Luminosa is an alpaca blend yarn. So let's see if I can see this again. I don't know if you can see the halo here a little bit. See that little halo? That is the black alpaca. And then the base of the yarn is like an I-cord knitted yarn out of thread, basically nylon thread with a little bit of wool blended into it. And this is how much I had left, about one skein of each, and this is how much I had left. So I could probably make another cowl in the reverse colors, and that would be I probably have enough yarn for that. And the train's about to come again, so I'm going to pause. Okay, I think the train is gone. It was a very long, noisy train. So anyway, so this is the Cascades Luminosa in the garnet, and this is in the emerald. And as you can see, for the thing, I striped it green and red here, and then I did the green cable here. So I have enough that I could probably do the same thing with the stripes and then do the cables and the reds. Maybe not quite as long of a cowl, but I think I've got enough for that. I don't know, maybe I'll turn them into arm warmers instead. I just don't have a lot of that left. So that is my only finished object. So that is my husband's cowl. I'll give that back to him. What I cast on next, and I might have posted about this because I think I cast it on when I thought I was going to be done with this, but maybe not, is some socks. However, I tried them on and the cast on edge wasn't as stretchy as the rest of the sock, even though I did a German twisted cast on and I made sure I left a gap between each stitch. I didn't like snug up each loop next to each other. I left a little bit of a gap, made it, you know, really relaxed. Different tips I picked up, and it still wasn't stretchy enough. So I'm recasting it on. I've gone up a needle size just for the cast on. I'll go back down for when I actually start knitting it. And I'm going to cast on, another tip I ran across was to cast on half, again, as many stitches as you need. So for example, if you're doing a 60 stitch sock, you would cast on 90 stitches. And then in the ribbing, you would knit 2 together, knit 1, purl 2 together, purl 1, all the way around, and you would end up with 60 stitches on the next round. So I cast on a 72 stitch sock originally. I'm debating whether I want to have that be a 74 stitch, because I like socks that go up around my calves, but my calves are rather large, so I couldn't quite tell from the cast on if it was going to work or not. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll get tired of casting on, what is it, 100 and whatever half of 72 is plus 72. I can't remember right now. But I grabbed the wrong skein. Anyways, this is the main body of the yarn, and it was kind of pulling / flashing really nicely in the cuff. I'll post a picture of what it looked like before I pulled it out. And so I really like the way that's happening. And then this is going to be the contrasting heels and toes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit a 2-inch cuff and then knit and stocking it until I have 8 ounces left, or 8 grams rather. Excuse me. Till I have 8 grams, because that's how much the 2-inch cuff plus cast on weighed when I put it on the scale. I took the needle out and I put it on the scale to see how much that would be. So I'm going to knit until I only have 8 grams left, and then I'm going to knit in ribbing. And basically I'm going to have a big long tube. And then right in the middle I'm going to snip it and do toes, and then I'm going to figure out where to do an afterthought heel. I have never done a true afterthought heel before. I have high arch and a regular afterthought heel / short row heel. Usually doesn't fit me, but I've run across 2 afterthought heel patterns, possibly 3. I'm still investigating the 3rd one, that supposedly is really good for people with high arches. So I'm going to try out one of those, and it won't matter where I snip the yarn to start the heel. It just matters how I do the heel itself, how it's going to fit. So hopefully that's all going to work out. I just needed something that I could just mindlessly do and not worry about when it was time to do the toe. So I'm just going to knit the tube, and then when I get lower, the only thing I'll have to worry about is when I'm almost at the end. Probably won't be able to take it with me anywhere. I do have a small little scale. Let's take the scale with me, I guess. But this is riding around in my Halloween bag since it's October. I made this last year. It is a reversible bag that I interlined with a mattress pad, like a baby crib pad from IKEA. I found it at a thrift store for a couple of bucks, and it was really thick, and it's made of water resistant material layers. So that way, if by any chance it falls out into a puddle, since we are in rainy season, the inside project won't get wet. At least that's the plan. So that's the outside of the fabric. And then the inside is the same, is a different fabric of the same theme, same artwork, where they're just kind of randomly, these same characters, instead of being all in a line, are just kind of randomly in space, kind of the way these bats are. And these bats are also part of the same collection. These green bats on the green is actually part of this fabric here. There was another orange stripe in between them, and I cut that out and then reattached the bats to either side of the band. And then I made this. This isn't lined, it's just doubled over so I could put in the drawstring, and it folds over nicely over the part that's a little bit thicker, and I kind of have a on-the-go yarn bowl. And then I put some black velvet that I had. It's a faux velvet, like polyester or something, left over from a costume I'd made. So again, a little bit extra waterproofness, water resistance here on the bottom. And so yeah, you can see there's a cute little fox in a witch's hat, and a squirrel in a skull costume, in a bones costume, skeleton costume, that's it, and a mummy owl, and a vampire raccoon, and unfortunately the kitty got cut off in this, so it's kitty dressed as a pumpkin. I think I just had that on the inside. No, maybe not. I thought I did. Yeah, there we go. Again, all this kitty's cut off a little bit too. But, so, here's Kitty and the pumpkin. So, I love this bag. I love the colors of it. I think it's so cute, and I love how squishy it is. So, I get really happy when it gets close to October again, and I can use it again. I mean, I probably could use it all year long, but I'm trying to make seasonal project bags for myself. Once I get this all finished, or at least the phase 1 finished, I'm going to be able to sew again. Yay. Project bags. The other project I've dug out, this is a very, very old project, is the crochet ripple socks. I cast these on, chained them on 11 years ago. According to my Ravelry project page, I started the project on October 6th, 2008. Not 2018, 2008. And I do remember this being one of my first projects. So, and I've had one sock done for a while now. Probably it's been probably been a couple of years since I've touched this. So I just I actually had finished the heel using the yarn for the other sock, and then I ripped it out after I wrote down the instructions for what I did, so that I could cast on the other sock. So I'll redo that. So this is kind of what the finished one looks like at the moment, and I've got the excess yarn in here, but I increased for my calf. I think you can see that a little bit. So I wrote down all the differences I did for this. And crochet hook I'm going to be using is what I got for Christmas this past year, and I just got the extra hooks. So it's the myrtle wood handle, and the set that Mom got me didn't go up high enough. It only came with 5 hooks, or 6 hooks rather. So I was able to buy 3 more sizes recently from the, I think it's Pen Industries that makes all these pen blanks. It's PNN Industries, somebody's last name. And they just happened to go into the carving pen blanks business. But they had these, you could buy them individually, so I bought the last 3 sizes that they had that I didn't have. And they're the bigger sizes that I needed to finish this project. Eventually I'll dig all this out. And so here's the other toe that I also had done, but when I compare it to what I've already done, it's kind of narrow. So I don't know if my gauge had changed or if I needed to increase, and I didn't make a note of that. So I'm going to rip this back, because I can even see kind of it goes up and then it kind of goes in, and I think I had originally crocheted it to this point and put it down for a few years, and then I think my gauge changed, my tension changed. So I'm going to rip it back to here, and I'm going to give it a go again with my current tension and see if it doesn't work, and if not, I'll rip it back again and go up the crochet hook size, which is another reason why I got all the other ones, because I only needed the I, and the set went up to H, and so I got the I, J, and K from Pen Industries. It just came in a few days ago. And this is my paper pattern that I printed off ages and ages ago when it was on a website that you now can only reach from the Wayback Machine. So it's the crocheted ripple socks. And that's what they're supposed to look like. And I think the original picture was a red and black socks. Well, the instructions keep talking about do this till the so many, like the 11th black row. So the original was done in red and black. And luckily I still have this paper because I never added my notes to my Ravelry page, so I did that recently. But I do have them all written here. So it only goes up to like the 20th row, the 22nd round, and then it's just like just alternate this until you get to a certain length. Well, I wanted them tall and I have big calves, so I changed row 21, and then from there I've got it all the way up to row 64. I guess is how far I did with the first sock. And then my afterthought heel instructions on the bottom here. So I typed that all up and put it in my Ravelry notes just for A, so I can have it, and B, in case anybody wants to reproduce it for bigger calves like I've got. Now, when I was doing my husband's cowl, I discovered that my Acroworks flat pack lazy Kate fits in my new knitting bag. So that's what that is down at the bottom. And I've got, so I've got the yarn on going through the middle here. Hopefully I found the right middle. I wound this yarn ages ago, and I've put them on the spikes of the Lazy Kate, and it's got 4 more, but because it's flat pack, I've got them folded down right now. I have to take all the yarn off and put the spikes down in order to get it out of this opening, but it fits in there nicely. So as long as I don't have to use it anytime soon for my spinning, which is what it's supposed to be for, it's really convenient for using this project bag, because it just comes off the tines a lot easier. This yarn here, let me just use this one instead. So this yarn here is Brown Sheep Wool Company's homespun in worsted, and I don't think it's homespun. I can't remember the name of it now. I just got a whole bunch of fingering weight stuff for it, and these are not the colors that you can get. I did not like the colors that I had gotten it as part of a D-stash, I think. I didn't like the colors. This was Barbie Pepto-Bismol pink. It was horribly disgusting. This was a mint, closer to a mint, which I didn't mind, but I couldn't come up with anything that would go nicely with this. I overdyed with Cushing's dyes, and what I did is I took and snipped like an inch off, several inch pieces, and in little little cups that I had in my dyeing microwave, I mixed up small little batches of the colors for my Cushing dye sets in greens and blues. I overdyed this one, and then pinks and reds. I overdyed this one, and then I kind of twisted those little snippets of yarn together amongst the two sets until I found a color combo I liked. And this is the color combo that came out that I really liked the best. And I'll insert some pictures. I had saved a little bit of the original yarn undyed to show the color contrast, and took a picture of it like 11, maybe even 12 years ago. So it might be a little bit grainy, but you can get an idea of what the original colors were versus what the colors are now. But I really love this color combo together. I'm not normally a pink person, but I'm just loving these. And I want them done so I can wear them. They're supposed to be my bed socks. So I dug them out, and I'm like, we're going to try and finish these. Work on as many unfinished projects as I can in between all the other new projects I'm casting on. Husband wanted a new cowl, so I cast that on. My mother wanted some cuffs a couple Christmases ago, so I cast those on. And then when I finish spinning something, I want to then cast on the project that yarn is for. So those have been the new cast-ons I've been working through while still wanting to catch up on my unfinished objects. So that is the other project I'm going to be working on at the moment. I wanted to work on my dragon tail scarf, but I cannot find my other project bag, and I just had it before I rearranged this room again. I don't know where it went. So I'm just going to work on this crochet project, and if I haven't found it by the time I finish these socks, I'm going to I found my other yarn that goes with it, like the excess yarn, and then the hood that it's supposed to be. It's going to be a hooded scarf, and I've already got the hood done. It's just waiting for me to attach the two sides of the scarf. So I might just go ahead and cast on a new scarf, because I think I had ripped it out before anyways. So I'll just cast on a new one and go from there, and hope I run across my other project bag that has the rest of the yarn in it at some point. The other thing that I have pretty much given up on at the moment is my rainbow sampler yarn. I just don't know where it went. We've looked. When I rearranged, basically all my tubs that I haven't unpacked are behind this bookshelf. Another reason I wanted this bookshelf, so it wasn't this big messy room. And I went through all of them again as I was stacking them into their temporary permanent, their long-term temporary area. Well, I save up the money to get the shelves that eventually everything's going to go on. And it's disappeared. It's just completely gone poof. I mean, I pulled everything out of all of those boxes. Some of those boxes hadn't been opened in years, but I looked through them anyways. And I just cannot find that yarn. So I've given up. Maybe someday it'll show up and I'll make a new project for it. But in the meantime, while I was at the Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival, I decided I needed more yarn to finish my rainbow sampler, because I want to make a Dreambird knit along. Dreambird cowl pattern shawl. So I got some more fiber while I was at the Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival. Little snippets of stuff. So here's a yellow I got. I got like an ounce with some ounce grab bags I found from a couple vendors. So this is a yellow, and I think I'm going to run it through the drum carder before I spin it. Same thing with the orange. I think I'm going to blend it better. a lot of white in it, which I normally like, but for this I want it to be more blended, I think. Some mint green. This is supposed to be an ounce, but it's so fluffy and it's bigger than all the other supposedly ounce balls. And ice blue. And then I got these three. They're supposed to be 1/3 ounces from the, and these are the same color, and this is a slightly different color, and I think I will spin it in this order. So the middle of the feather of the Dreambird shawl will be this color. That's the idea anyways. We'll see how it ends up. And so those are those samples that I got at Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival. But a few weeks before that, I had gone to the Puyallup Fair, and they had an Artist in Action section that had some raw fiber, some dyed fiber. Here it is. And so I got this bag of dyed Romney locks. This is all one bag. And it's got some reds. Let's see if I can. So I've got some reds, some kind of pinky orangey red, paler. I'm going to try and separate this all into more closer color combos to do more of a gradient. And here's the yellow and the green, and then and then the purple, and then there's this other like little bits. It wasn't even in lock form, and it's like this rainbow kind of, it's like an orange, red, and purple thing left over from, oh, and some blue. It almost looks like it's left over from another project that got shoved in with this stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. So those are the colors that are going to be added to this spin, and put in rainbow order. I'll splice everything together in the order I want. And while I was at Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival, I decided I wanted to find something that went along with this, because this was going to be the background. If I can get this to if my face is in the way. Get you to focus. Maybe? I can't tell from here. It's a dark purple, but it has very thin strands of a magenta and like a teal green blue in it, and I think a little bit of yellow or yellowy orange. And I thought I originally had 8 ounces of this, and I was like, oh, this will be the perfect background color for the rainbow, you know, dark purple with a rainbow. That'll be awesome. And then I realized that I had taken and used part of it to start to blend with something else. So I only have like 4 ounces left. I'm like, I don't think that's going to be enough. So I tried to find something that I could blend with this to make it go further. And I found at the Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival this. I don't know. I'm having a horrible time. I've tried taking pictures, but you can kind of see that gold reflection. That's not sparkly nylon. So this is 70% merino, 30% sparkly nylon. So soft. And it's got this like basically rainbow, what is it? It's not Angelina. It's call it nylon glitz. So the plan was, and this right here is 4 ounces. It's really heavy for such a small compact little ball. And so I was going to blend it with this. But next to it, and this is the color aubergine, next to it was this, which is the white, or natural rather, with the same rainbow nylon glitz blended into it. And again, let's see if I can, I don't know if that's showing up too well. I knew when I bought this that the shawl is probably not going to photograph well. But it's going to be so pretty in person because it's just a rainbow. I mean, it's this, you know, natural white color with, there's like a baby blue and an orange and this goldy yellow and some green and, you know, more of a darker orange there and this like pinky red here. So it's just this rainbow glitz that's been blended with this natural colored merino, and this is the lightning colorway. So I got 16 ounces of this, just to be safe. I think I'm only going to need 8 ounces for the body of the shawl, but this is going to be a hard blend to match, and I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get more from the same merchant. I got 16 ounces, but it was cheap. I mean, most of the stuff I get is like, you know, in the neighborhood of $20, give or take, for 4 ounces. This was more like 8 ounces for under $20. So I got 16 ounces because I could. This is the first major purchase I made, was 4 ounce balls of this and then this 1 ounce ball here. Because I'm still going to blend it with the other purple. I'm going to do another project with it. I don't know what. But I just thought it was pretty. Why not? But my husband convinced me that the rainbow would look prettier on this white rainbow flecked background, which I really wish the camera could pick up. Kind of get an idea. I'm seeing a little bit of the blues and reds reflecting, even though it doesn't look like it's actually focusing. I can't tell if it's focusing, but ooh, you're getting a good chance look at the colors there. See the greens and the blue and the red. You can't see the gold too well, but you get the idea. So this is going to be the background of the Dreambird knit along pattern, and I'll put in a link to that because I can't remember the designer's name right now. But at any rate, so that's going to be this is my spinning project. This was originally my spindle project, and I got kind of spindle's elbow, so it's now my straight wheel project. My other wheel project is on hold until I finish this, which will probably be months at this rate. But at any rate, so that's what's going on with me. That is the projects, the stuff I bought recently. I also bought this cool little basket at a thrift store, an antique store. They were having a 50% off sale, so I ended up getting it for $7.50. It's just a nice, I think I want to line it with fabric, because the bottom, these things here, there's a big gap at the bottom, which you can't see very well. There, a little bit. So I either want to get something that looks like this and screw it to those bottom gap, or I'm just gonna like line it in fabric. And then this is gonna be one of the show pieces for my finished studio someday. I've been filling in holes in the wood. It's wood paneling. It's cheap wood paneling, but the fact that there's gouges in it bothers me, especially when I was painting this one. I did a whole bunch of wood filler on that panel because there was a big old gouge in it. It just bugged me, and then when you paint it, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So, at any rate, I should probably wrap it up. I think that's pretty much everything. Oh, I did finally go to the local spinning guild since I've moved. I finally got to go to a meeting, and that was fun. That was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to more meetings with them. So I'm going to wrap this up, and I hope everybody has a good Halloween. I don't know if I'm going to be able to record again before the end of the month, because I've been just pretty much devoting most of my time to trying to get this studio into basically what I'm calling phase 1. So this part, other than needing to finish painting this wall, this is the end of this corner for phase 1. And then I'm going to paint everything and then get all the other stuff onto the other shelves, and that'll be the end of phase 1. And then I will get a part-time job to save up the money for the rest of the IKEA shelves I want. I want the big Kallax I'm going to need like 3 5x5s and a 4x4, maybe a couple more 2x4s, several of the 2x2s, because those are going to go on the other side of the camera here against this window. It's the plan. We'll see how that goes. So I'll probably podcast again next month. So hope everybody has a good Halloween, and I will talk to you later. Bye.